We're talking a little bit about the Alabama Supreme Court decision. Alabama Supreme Court ruled that frozen embryos are children under state law and subjected to legislation that deals with the wrongful death of a minor. I'm pro-life. The embryo issue is difficult for me. It's challenging. I tend to agree with Ted from Venice, Florida, a few minutes ago. Passionate, he's angry, he's upset. If we keep going down this path, we're going to lose. Now, the problem is this isn't a political decision. This was a judicial one. This is the Alabama Supreme Court. And I'm sorry, Philadelphia, I'm not going to avoid a difficult conversation trying to pretend it's going to go away. But I think Ted is right. If we keep banging this abortion drum, we may never win another election. Joe's in Atlanta. Hey, Joe, welcome to the Mike Gallagher Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, Mike. Great. Good to speak with you again.
Good. Glad you're back.
Yeah, I kind of agree with the guy, Ted, and I wanted to get clarification. I mean, I would consider myself pro-life, but a frozen embryo does not have a heartbeat. Now, when it's unfrozen, you said 4 weeks later it could, but I mean that's kind of a that's like saying okay, don't let pregnant women drive fast without seatbelts. They might kill themselves and the baby. Well, okay, then let them drive, but they don't have to drive fast and they got to wear a seatbelt. I don't understand how Alabama can step in and say I'm taking your embryos.
I get it. Yep.
They're frozen.
Yeah, I get it, and that maybe to some would be a distinction without a difference. You're right. I mean, an embryo that's frozen in a test tube, that's a different stage of an unborn baby in a mother's womb, and so that again adds to the complication of this. Thanks, Joe. Good to catch up with you again. Terry in Dayton, Ohio. Terry, how are you?
Hey, Mike.
Hey,
Mike. How are you this morning?
Good. Appreciate your call.
Hey, I believe that Ohio has become a 55-45 red state. Would you agree with that?
I would. I do.
So my concern is I lean pro-life. I would never want to be a party to anything regarding an abortion or anyone in my family. That being said, I kind of don't feel like it's my business to tell someone else, and they've got to live with their own morals and their own conscience after the fact. But if you look at what's happened in Ohio, the 55-45 red state, since the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, there have been two big abortion issues come up, and the Republicans, the conservatives, have gotten our clocks cleaned.
You're right.
Like 57-42, and I just think, I think Rush reached the conclusion early on in his broadcasting that it just wasn't an issue that was gonna win people over for us. And I just, it's always out there. I think people who care about it never stop thinking about it, but I just don't see how we ever win again, like Ted says.
All right.
If we don't.
All right, hold on.
If we keep beating that drum.
All right, I want to bring Charles from Phoenix into our conversation, if you don't mind, Terry. Hey, Charles, say hi to Terry. Say hi to Terry, Charles.
Hi, Terry. How you doing?
Hey, Charles.
All right, so Charles.
It's early out there, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot warmer in Phoenix than it is in Dayton. But give me.
Yes, it is.
I guarantee that.
Charles, give us the counter argument to what Terry and I sort of agree on, that if we keep going down this path, we're never going to win another election. What do you say to that as a pro-life American, Charles?
Well, it seems to me if we keep compromising, we might as well just go ahead and be Democrats. I remember there was and a 1-year-old is not a full, it's at a stage that isn't fully viable either if you put him out, on the street and say, okay, get a job. And I recall in the reading in a book by Everett Koop, who was Reagan's Surgeon General.
Sure.
Yeah, he put out a pamphlet on abortion, and he talked about that there was a meeting held by some doctors. I forgot the date and the place, but it was concluded that once a being is 46 chromosomes, everything it ever will be in life is contained in that unit. Mm-hmm. And from then on, you're just talking location and ability.
All right, well, let's stay focused for a minute here, Terry. What do you say to Charles's argument that if we as pro-life people keep compromising, we might as well just become a member of the Democrat Party.
Well, my issue is that what you had mentioned earlier is absolutely true, Mike. We can't do anything if we don't have the steering wheel.
Right, right.
Trump got the steering wheel, put some conservative justices on the Supreme Court,
Yep.
and we got results.
I mean, isn't it, Charles? Isn't Terry right that if we don't win elections, we don't have any pro-life future in America at all?
I'd say he's right. And my answer to that, though, would be if there is no God, then it doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter if the neighbor, shoots his son or his daughter. But if there is a God and there are consequences for nations that murder their citizens, then sure, we'll lose elections. And I'm thinking maybe we don't deserve to exist as a nation if the critical mass of people have it.
All right. Listen, complicated issue. I appreciate both of you. Good faith conversation here, both Charles and Terry.